So in today's video, this is going to be our very last, well, not a very last, but our last episode in this game series for a while. We're going to finish it up to a point that you can actually play the level. There is really no objective to this level. So you just start it, you collect coins, and you move to the end. That's it. So we're going to finish this game for now, and we're going to spend the rest of probably this year working on some different games, maybe starting a new one, or going back to our previous ones, like our cube sliding game and our cube maze, see if we can get some extra things done in those. But today's going to be the end of this game series for a while, so we're going to jump back into it and finish I said we're going to finish the health bar, but I've changed my mind because I looked through the artwork in this game and I don't see like an actual pictures and stuff to use as the health bar, so we're going to do it in a different way. We're just going to add a heart and then a health indicator on top of it. And then once we've done that, we need to go and allow the player to attack the spider. So we're going to work on that after the health, because that should take about a few seconds to complete. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. So let's jump into it and let's get started. So the thing I was going to do, so I was going to have something similar to this, where for our health indicator, we would have this with like a heart. And then as you reduce your health, so if you bump into the spider and your health gets reduced, then the bar inside of the health bar would close. Well, not close, it will get smaller and smaller until it reached the end, and then you would obviously die, and then you would have to restart the level. But going through the assets for this game, I've only seen this heart, and that's pretty much it regarding the health department of the UI images. So we're going to do it a different way. We're going to just create a heart, and then on top of that we will put a health indicator, so our number, instead of just having the word health. So it's going to be similar to this, but it's going to be smaller. It's just going to be in the bottom corner over here, where we will have a heart with a simple number on top of it. And I believe we start off with, where's our health? In our global, our health starts at 50, so we're going to start that at 50. So what we're going to do is we are going to create a new image under our health indicator. So let's go and create a new image, and then we can simply just drag this heart into our image source for our image that we just created. And then what we can do is we can go and resize it and move it into the right location. So I'm going to put this over here, and then I'm just going to change the size to about, let's try about 90 by 90. Okay, I want the height to be a bit less, so let's go say 85. That looks better. So that's fine. Now, this health indicator, I'm going to put like that, so that our health indicator is on top of our image, and then I will center this like that. We could probably reduce the size of it, just because it doesn't need to be that big. It's only ever really going to be, what's it called? 2 digits. So let's just go and anchor it to the middle and make it as big as our picture above or below it. So that's that. Now, because it's only really going to have a digit in it, I'm just going to change that to 50, and let's resize this to how we want it. So we kind of want it the same as our coin indicator. So that's at 40. So let's go and change this to 40. Hopefully that's good. Okay, so I don't really like that. That's a bit too big. So let's go and say about 30. And then I'm just going to move this up a little bit like that. So, I mean, it's not the best. I really wanted the actual health bar, but it doesn't look that great. It's going to do... The problem is the health bar is not what I thought it was going to be, unless I just can't find it. But we'll do this in this episode, and then maybe later down the line, when we decide to come back to this game, we can go and make another health bar. So that's going to be fine. Let's just go and see if this actually works. Now, let's go fix that, because when we go and, let's just move this. When we go and set our health, which I believe is done in our player class. Update, no, where is it? Attack, jump, move. Where's it done? UI manager, probably in our UI manager. That's where it's done. Okay, so here we can just get rid of the health like that. And then this we can just go and say equals global health dot, same as above, dot to string, like that. So that should be fine. Now we should be able to play the game and see that our coin indicator works, as well as a health bar, or not a health bar, but our health indicator, health hearts picture. So here's our health. It's now 50. If we go to our spider, because I believe that's the only way we've made it to reduce our health. Okay, so that's working. You can see our health has now gone to 25. Let's just do that. Okay, so now we die and then we go back to the beginning and then we can start all over again. Okay, so that's fine. Now, what else I want to do in this game is to the final thing for now, until probably about next year. I want to go to our spider. Where's our spider? Spider, here it is. So we have the ability to attack things. The only problem with this game is the only thing that we can attack at the moment are these crates. So if we go to the crates, you'll see that we can collect coins. But we can also attack these boxes and then they give us coins that we can collect, like that. So we now need to make it possible for us to go and kill our spider. So let's go and do that. So where is our spider class? So here's our spider class. On here, do we have... How are we going to do that? Because we're going to have to do it the same way we did it for our crate. So when we go and collide with our crate, actually, where is it done? It's done in our, where is it? In our player class, I think. So attack, yeah. So once we have hit an object, we go and check to see what object it is. So if it's our crate object, then we can go and break the crate. Now this is, okay, so we did start it. So instead of us actually killing the spider, we just go and print out the tag that's attached to the spider. So in our case, over here, when we go and attack something that then intersects with that circle that we created, when that object then has an enemy tag on it, we can go and do something with it. So we can go and say var enemy is going to be equal to hit dot game object, the same as we did before, dot get component. Now there is only one problem with this. This is only going to work for our spider, and it's going to be fine for our game because we only have one enemy in our game, whereas if we had more than one enemy, we would have to do it a different way, because not all enemies will have the spider script attached to it, but all spider enemies will have the spider script attached to it and also have an enemy tag attached to it. So we can go and say get component spider, and then that should give us access to our health of the spider. If our spider even has a health, does it have a health? Point A, float, speed, radius, velocity. Okay, so no, it doesn't. So let's go and create a public. It has to be public because we need to access it from the player's script over here. So public int, what are we going to make it? Our player has a health of 10, of what is it, 50. Our spider can have a health of random. Let's give it a random value. Public int health. So we're going to assign this at random. So at the start of the game, we can go and say health is equal to random dot range, and then we want the health to be, how do we want to do this? Because we don't want it to be too much, because let's just test it out. Let's go and say between 0 and Let's say about 50. Okay, that's fine. Now, let's test that, because we should, if we select our spider here, we should see on our sprite script here, we have a health here. So when we go and start the game, if we still select our spider, we now have a health of 9. It's a bit low, because the way I'm thinking is, if we go to here, we can go and say enemy dot health is going to be minus equals 5 or something like that. So go and subtract 5 from it. And then in our spider class here, we can go and say flip sprite. Okay. How are we going to do this? So we need to go and say, we need to bring a boolean. So let's go and say private boolean is dead, and that's going to be equal to false. So we need to increase this. So let's go and say our spider is always going to be alive. So let's give it a health of, at minimum, 10. Actually, let's give it a minimum of 5, because that means if we subtract 5 from it at minimum, then if you get a really weak spider, you only need to hit it once. So we'll leave that like that. And then in our update method, we only want to go and do all of this. So flip our spider, move our spider from point B, between the current point A to point B, and vice versa. And then we need to only set the animation if our spider is alive. So just going to say if is dead, or in this case, if is not dead. So if the spider is alive, then we can go and do all of that. Else, we can go and say, actually, let's just test that out. Let's just see if that works. So let's see. We should still see our spider move from point A to point B. So we can go to our spider. Hopefully it's down here somewhere. Okay, so our spider is still moving, so that's fine. Now let's see. If we need to check when the health is below 0. Well, equal to 0 rather. So here we can go and say if, let's do this at the top actually. So if the health is less than or equal to 0, then is dead is going to be equal to true. And if it's not, then it should be equal to false. So now we've done that, the only thing we need to do now is to, actually let's test it out and see if it works. Let's first, before we do that, let's go to our spider. Where is it? Here. What have we selected? What am I doing? What is this for? This is, so here's our spider. We don't have a death animation, so we might have to make that. Okay, so let's test it out. So let's go to our spider and let's go and kill our spider or attack it. Okay, so let's see. Why did I do that? We need to test that out. That didn't seem like it worked. So our health has got, okay, that's going to be way too much for testing purposes. So just for now, I'm just going to go and say health is equal to 5. Just so we don't have to sit here and try and kill our spider. So let's go back to our spider. All right. Interesting. Okay, so it does work, but now our spider is still moving. So let's see, what are we doing? If the health is less than or equal to 0, spider is dead. If is dead, or if it's not dead, then we can go and do all of this. And if it is dead, then we need to go and set the velocity of our spider to 0. So let's go and say, actually, what am I doing? Let's do this over here. Let's expand on this one and say, is dead is equal to true. Velocity is going to be equal to 0. Or rather, we need to go and say rigid body dot velocity is going to be equal to 0 on the x. What? How do we change this? I completely forgot. So let's see. What do we have here? Game object, rigid body. We should be able to just set that. Rigid body dot velocity is going to be equal to 0. Why can we not set that? Cannot implicitly convert into vector 2. Okay, so here we need to go and say new vector 2, 0 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis. So that should be fine. So let's go and test that out. So we now should see no movement on our spider when we go and attack it. Let's give that a try. I might just move our player onto this ledge over here. Okay, so you can see that the spider is now dead. It's not, you can't see that it's dead, but it is dead. It has a health of 0. It is no longer moving from point A to point B, and it is supposed to die. So let's go and change this. So now we need to create that animation. Now, before we do that, I'm trying to think here. I can't go through it, but let's just move our player here quickly, just for testing purposes. In this case, we can go and put him over here, just so that we don't have to keep on getting to our spider. So the problem with this is now when our spider is dead, actually, let's go and do this first. Let's go to our spider. So animation, this is an idle animation. Let's go and create a new clip, and this is going to be our dead or die animation. So let's go and put this in our animations in our spider. So that's going to be in there. Now let's go and see spider. Spider underscore die, is it? Okay, so this one, all of these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I think that's that. Bring those in here, and let's bring this over here so we can see it work. So if we play this, why does that look weird? So it starts off upright, and then it kind of just rolls over like that. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Let's try that. Now, where are we going? So spider, let's go to die. This needs to not loop. We don't want that to loop. And now we should have a death animation here. Okay. So now we need to try and figure this out. So let's see. We want to be able to move from any state, so make a transition to die, and then that is going to be, what is this? It's going to be, have a condition of trigger, and that's going to be is dead. So let's go and say condition is dead, and okay, and as soon as we set that to true, no, it's not a bit. As soon as we set that trigger, it should go back. Now let's quickly go to our player. So our player can go from any state to die, and then back from die to idle. So we need to go and create this state. So this is going to be, where's our spider? From die, it needs to go back to an idle state. And then that has no access time, so let's get rid of that. And then that should be fine. So player, let's see, player is dead is equal to false. Okay, so we used is dead is equal to false. So we use a boolean on that one, so maybe not. We might have to change it, but let's test this out. So for our spider, going from our death animation to our idle animation, we can go and say, actually we don't need to say anything. I don't think we might have to change this. Let's go and change this. Let's delete that and say, yeah, delete that. And then this will have to be a boolean, and this is going to be is dead. So this is going to be is dead, and that's going to be set to false. And then going from any state to die, is dead is going to be set to true. Okay, so that's fine. Now let's test this out. So let's go to our script here. And in our spider script here, we can go and say if the health is 0, so if our player is dead, we need to change the animation. So here we can go and say animator dot set boolean. This is going to be is dead, and that's going to be set to true. And then in our start method, actually no, let's leave that for now. Let's go and test this out and see what exactly we have here, because I have a feeling that this is not going to work, because animations never work on the first time. So our spider is working. If we go and kill it, the animation works, so that's fine. Now you'll still see that if we move through our spider, we can still die. I don't really want that. And also when we go and restart the game, which that didn't work properly, the spider needs to reset itself. So let's go and do this. First of all, let's work on the spider. What were we going to work on? I forgot. Oh, we don't want the spider to destroy our player if it's dead. So where do we do that? So let's go and say player jump move attack, no update, player collisions, no. We can probably get rid of the script, doesn't really matter. So in here we have a on trigger enter on our spider. So here we can go and say if we collide with the trigger, if we collide with our player and is not dead, then we can go and reduce the health. I'm going to reduce this only by about 10. That gives us about 5 lives, I guess. Then play the one shot spider attack sound, and then reduce the health of our player. So let's save that and give this a test. So that should solve our problem when we kill the spider and then go ahead and attack it. So, well, not attack it, but move through it. So now that we move through our spider, we should not see our health reducing. So that's fine. Now, I kind of want to just destroy that spider, or should we just leave it there? Well, before we do that, even I want to go make that spider a lot smaller than what it is, because it's kind of big. Let's go make it half the size, so 0.5 by 0.5, and bring it down. Now I don't really know if that's going to affect the movement of it. Is it? So no, it's not. So that kind of looks a lot better. Can we kill it? Yeah, we can. I mean, it's kind of small, but I like it like that. I think it looks more like a spider. So what else do we need to do? So now we need to go and reset that when the game gets reset. But let's test this out. So I'm going to put our player back to where we wanted it to be. So because the reason our player started or reset itself back to there was because when we go and start the game at the very first frame, I guess it records the starting location. So it's going to set this exact spot here of our player to the start location, and then when our player eventually dies, we go and reset it back to that spot. Okay, so let's see, where's our spider? So we can kill our spider, and then we can still go through it, and we can still finish the game. So that's fine. Now, I suppose there isn't really any reason to reset the spider, because now that the spider is dead, there is no reason, or there's no way that the player can actually die, because there's nothing left in the scene for the player to die from, if that makes sense. So you can go and kill that, but there's no coins in that one. And then that's pretty much it for the game. So, I mean, it's not the best game that we've ever made, but you can see it doesn't really... It takes a long time to make games, especially when you don't really know what you're doing. No, that's a joke. I know what I'm doing. It's just sometimes you get stuck. But yeah, that's going to be it for this game. So I think later on, probably next year sometime, we will come back to this game. We might make one of the other levels. So we do have... Where's the art? Assets. So we can make like a cave one. So we would use all pretty much the same. Where's it gone? Sprites, backgrounds, snowy backgrounds. Anyway, there are some other... Okay, so that's ours. But anyway, what I was saying is there are other like themed levels to this game that we can use and make another level for it. So possibly in one of next year's, we might come back to this game and create like another series for it, where we create one of those other levels, and then also using some of the prefabs that we've made in this series, we'll introduce some other series like other enemies or other breakable objects that you can break, and then yeah, just think of different things that we can add into the game. But hopefully we will get there sometime early next year. But for now, for the rest of this year, we will focus on one of our other games that we've been making, or maybe possibly even start another game. I'm going to try and see which one is better, and hopefully finish that by the end of the year so we can get back to this game. So that's going to be it for today's episode. So thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, please go ahead and subscribe using that button over there, and also watch yesterday's video or one of the previous videos in this episode in the series using the button over here. But that's going to be it for today. Also, if you haven't done so, please go and subscribe to the channel. So we almost got halfway to the 1,000 subscriber mark. We're just over 300 subscribers, which is kind of great. We've grown about 100 subscribers in the previous month, which is a lot more than the first year. So thanks for that. I appreciate that a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.